Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. So I woke up this morning, I had my breakfast, I was like, I'm getting ready to go take a run outside, and I thought, it'd be great before I go running, let's watch an episode of Attack on Titan. But, oh my gosh, it has been hard waiting a week to watch this next episode. It has been so hard. But I've had stuff to do, so I was like, you know what? It'll keep me occupied. But I've been so ready to start this episode. My dog is going crazy in the other room, so sorry about that. But oh my gosh. Last episode ended on the most badass, awesome shot of Eren against this colossal titan. And it's like, what are we gonna do? So I'm so hyped to see this battle go down. I did note someone had sent me back in episode 1 that aired on YouTube, and I am recording a little bit ahead with this show, mainly to avoid spoilers. I'm just recording some episodes ahead just so that I can avoid spoilers and have the reaction be as genuine as possible. But one of the commenters on YouTube sent me a photo showing the walls, right? To give a better visual, and thank you for that. But I noticed on one of the little side notes there, it said Trost. And I noticed that this episode 5, is called First Battle, Battle of Trost Part 1. And it clicked to me, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Thomas and Marco are from Trost. Like, we got that way back in, like, episode 3, that Thomas and Marco are from there, because we got, like, hints of where everybody's from. So I'm curious to know if this episode is going to focus on Thomas and Marco, because this is their home. Like, this is their hometown. And we saw from Reiner way back in episode... I say way back! It was 2 episodes ago. Like, it's been months. Like, no... back in episode 3, we saw Reiner was saying that all he wanted to do was reclaim his homeland and reclaim his home that he lost. So obviously, home is important to all these characters and where they grew up and where they belonged. And so losing that has been, for a lot of the characters, a reason why they've joined the Survey Corps to begin with, or joined the army to begin with. So I'm assuming that we're going to have focus on Marcus and Thomas this episode, Marco and Thomas only because this is their home. So that's what's getting me thinking about things. But I don't know what to expect. I'm like, Eren, dude, that was so badass, but you can't beat a 50-meter Titan by yourself. Like, you're going to need some help. So, guys, I am so excited to see what happens and goes down. This show gets me really hyped up because I have no clue what to expect, and so each episode I'm going in like, I don't know what's going to happen next, and there's questions, there's mysteries. It's all very exciting. So yeah, let's do this, shall we? We are going to start episode 5 of Attack on Titan. We are going to start this bad boy and see what goes down here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, guys, let's do this. This episode. I was like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this episode, and it's going to be a battle the whole time. And things are going to happen, and it's going to be really exciting and cool. And then when the episode started, like, until about halfway through, I was like, man, actually, this episode's super low-key, and we're getting more into, like, the philosophical aspects, like the society angle. We're getting more into the history of the Titans and their weak points. Like, we're getting more into, like, lore and exposition. I'm like, man, so this episode's not going to be crazy. And then the last 5 minutes, shit goes down. I'm laughing because I'm amazed at just how batshit crazy this episode was. And where do we go from here? We got in the preview, there's flashbacks to Eren, but they all seem like they're from Mikasa's perspective, like she was flashing back. So, oh man, this episode was really good. This episode may be my favorite so far, but I'm like, what? Oh god, guys. Okay, so, all right. So we have things to talk about. There is a lot of setup in this episode. a lot of setup, a lot of world building, and some very, very, very interesting things. So I've got the episode muted here, and we're going to skip the OP and get back to the start of this episode. We are okay. So this colossal titan, he can move. The colossal titan can move. We have established that he is capable of movement. He doesn't just randomly appear, kick the door, and then disappear. He can move around, but his movements are really labored and very slow. Now, granted, they're super powerful. Like, he just took out that whole row of cannons and destroyed, like, part of the top part of the wall. Really super strong, but he's not fast, right? He's just not fast. He's just like, boom, come in. And Eren is noticing very quickly that he was after the fixed cannons. He is sentient. It's no coincidence he went for the gate either. He is deliberately doing these things. He is conscious and understanding of his surroundings. And God, just the aspect of how looming it is and how giant this Titan is. He's the only one that can take down the walls. Don't say that, Eren. Don't say that. Because that's like foreshadowing that he's not. Now this colossal Titan looks exactly the same as he did 5 years ago. So all these Titans have had very distinct looks. Even though they've been kind of the same gelatinous blob, they have had distinct features and distinct looks. So that makes me believe that this is the exact same colossal Titan. The colossal Titan is the exact same one that attacked 5 years ago. And he seems almost kind of annoyed with Eren. Like, he sees Eren on his arm, he's like, He almost seems like he's grimacing. And then Eren, being smart, goes for the back of the neck. He goes for the spot, goes for that tendon, and attacks it. And then there's all this pressure and smoke or steam coming out of him. Like it's going to destroy his gear. And then there's nothing. It shrinks. Then there's nothing. It shrinks or disappears. I don't think it's disappearing, because where would it go? How would it disappear? How does that even work? Does it shrink? Because it said the colossal Titan vanished. Because he was really high up in the air, so if it shrunk, he probably wouldn't have saw it. Did you defeat it? And he's like, no, it was the same as 5 years ago. It just up and vanishes. But then his footsteps are there. That's interesting. So the colossal Titan can think. It can think it is deliberately trying to destroy things to let the other Titans in. But I don't know if maybe it can only be around for a certain amount of time, perhaps, and then it has to disappear. I do like the fact that Bertolt shows up and says there's a contingency plan. Or no, it's not Bertolt, it's somebody from the Rose Guard, from the garrisons. That there was a contingency plan for the colossal Titan. So good, they at least put some plan in place to get rid of this Titan if it shows up again. Now granted, it doesn't seem to be working. But okay, so the image for the preview is the guy from the garrison saying, anyone who made contact, don't forget to report. Well, that might be hard for Eren because he's in the belly of a Titan right now. I'm just saying. Yeah. I have so much to... the theories are like running through my head right now like crazy. So this is exactly the same type of situation as it was 5 years ago, where they're evacuating the people from Trost through the gates of Wall Rose to get inside Sheena. Like they're just evacuating everybody, or I guess they're inside the Wall Rose right now. So Trost is just like a little part. And I like that they established this moat. The problem is with the moat that they still have the bridge. They need to like get to where they can remove the bridge, because the Titans are just going over the bridge or they're crossing the moat. The fact that these Titans all look distorted and weird is creepy. But we'll talk about the whole thing with the Titans, because that's very interesting, the information we do get about them. Yeah, here's the thing. They show the Titans getting their heads blown off by the cannon, and this one Titan like reaches over for them. Almost like it was... I don't know if it was drawn to the blast itself, like the blast being like a noise and it was like, oh, like a moth to a flame, or if it genuinely was reaching for that other Titan. If it was just going after the noise because it's like a noise feature, that makes sense because they've been told to be unintelligent, which we're going to talk about that. They seem to be unintelligent, unable to communicate. So if it was just reacting to the noise, that kind of follows pattern. But if it was reacting to the fact that its fellow Titan got injured, that's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother thing. So that's going to open up like a Pandora's box if that's the case. But we don't have time to focus on that. We've got lots of other stuff going on. So it says, you trainees have all passed the final training exercise. You're full-fledged soldiers now, even though you're not specifically designated to an area. We expect great things from you. And we get their names, Hannah and Franz. Is that right? It's Hannah and Franz. Yeah, they're sitting over here being like, I'll protect you, I'll help you. If that's not Death Flags 101 in a show, I don't know what is. Yeah, when Franz is like, I'll protect you, I'm like, you dead. You're dead. And Mikasa's like, we ain't got time for this. But yeah, I appreciate your sentiment, lovebirds, but you guys are dying. Like, I'm already resigned to that fact. Because love in this world does not seem to bode well. So then poor Armin. Oh my god, Armin this episode. Armin being like, I'm fine, I'll get over it. Like, he's just so terrified by everything. And it's like, you can't blame him. Like, they're basically being sent to, like, fight to their death. And Armin, I'm sure, knows that he's not physically strong. So he's like, I'm just trying to get things together. It's fine. And he's panicking because he's like, it's going to be the exact same as before. Like, you can just tell he's just freaked out. And we get this cut to these Titans. And, okay, this Titan, like, just got its entire lower half blown off. And this other Titan had its face blown off. And they're still going towards the wall. Like, they're driven by something. It's so weird. But, like, and then Eren's like, you've got to calm down and get a grip. Like, things are different. Like, we're a part of this. We got this. Like, you need to calm down, because if you're freaked out, it's not going to help anything. Like, just calm down. It's going to be okay. And then Mika says, like, And these Titans, even though they seem much smaller than the 50-meter one, like, the one coming through the gate is huge. And it shows them, like, going through the moat, like, things have fallen on them, like, just kind of wandering around, like, ugh. Oh my gosh, like, the Titans were pretty terrifying this episode, I'm not gonna lie. So then we cut to, and I'm assuming this is not, here's the thing, Marquis Bart, I'm assuming Marquis Bart is not the king. He's not, because he's a marquis, so that's like a dignitary, that's like an aristocrat. So he's not the king or part of the royal family, but he might be like distantly related or part of the inner circle. He seems like part of one of the higher ups, and he's in a very nice looking castle in Sheena, so I'm guessing that he's just an elite aristocrat. And of course we cut to them playing chess, you know, and I find it interesting that he's moving the pawn piece. That he picks up the pawn piece and replaces it with a rook. So, and of course he has, see, the banner in the background has a pony, has a horse head, but it's not a unicorn. It's not a unicorn like the royal family crest has been. The people that guard the royal family have the unicorn with the total green background. This guy has a red background, and the horse emblem is half green, half red. And these people surrounding him are not Kingsguard, they're just garrisons. So I'm guessing that he is inside the interior wall. He's inside Sheena, or he's inside Rose, one of the two. And he's a higher up aristocrat, but he is not royalty. He is just one of the upper elites. So that's my guess. I'm guessing that that's it. Like, maybe he's related to the royal family, and that's why it's half green, but he's not officially part of the royal family. But let me say, Pixis! This man Pixis! Hell yeah! I freaking love this man already. He's amazing. I love that okay, and him losing the game of chess to Marquis Bart, that's all an act, I'm sure. That's all a game, because he says, oh, I'm still no match for you, Marquis Bart. This guy's just sucking up to this elite man. But I think this Pixis man is way smarter than he lets on. and with his bolo and everything, like I get Dazai vibes from Bungo Stray Dogs when I see the bolo. I'm like, you don't mess with the man with the bolo. Those guys are intimidating, and I freaking love this man, Pixis, already. Like, and then of course, what symbolism? We have the little entrees, and here's the thing: we've established in this world so far that we have way more people than resources. Food is not a commodity. Food is something that's precious. And this man has a giant tray of hors d'oeuvres. And what does he do? He gathers a whole handful of them up and just eats them all in one bite. Like, what a comparison to the Titans, right? The Titans just swallowing humanity whole, and this guy's just sitting here eating a mound of crackers with stuff on it like a freaking pig. Like, yeah, he's just, and he has all this food behind him too, and he's fat. Like, just, he's just sitting there, like, just gorging himself, and his cheeks are rosy like he's been drinking wine. Like, he's just basically, like, just being gluttonous. And he says to Pixis, he says, oh, how can you defeat the Titans with that level of intelligence and skill? Like, oh, you can't even beat me in a chess game, and you're going to face the Titans? And these two guards in the garrison behind Pixis are, like, not saying a word, but they clearly look agitated. And then this guy comes in announcing the colossal Titans appeared in Trost. So, and it's destroyed the gate. So, I'm guessing that this Marquis Bart man is inside Wall Rose. And I guess that because, one, why would he care if he was in Sheena? Because there's a whole extra wall in between you and them. So if you were inside Sheena with the royal family, you probably wouldn't care. You'd be like, oh no. But you wouldn't drop your glass of wine at that. But if you're inside Wall Rose, where if the Titans get through, you're at an immediate threat level, then yeah, you probably care. So this guy probably cares because he's like, oh crap, if these Titans get through, what we gonna do? And this Pixis guy is part of the garrisons, so he's part of the ones guarding the interior wall. And he takes the bottle of wine like a freaking boss and just takes a big old swig out of it. And he's like, okay, yeah, this drink is excellent. It will be my honor to take it with me into battle. And you can tell he has the little flask of it that he puts in his pocket. Freaking badass. I love this guy Pixis already. Hell yeah. So we have the thing, and they're like, oh, you're not allowed to leave. And he takes the flask with the rose on it. And it's like, yes, you have to gather your forces and defend my territory. That's your duty, isn't it? And and you can tell he's high ranking because he has all the little badges on his jacket. Like, this man, I want to see him in action. Hell yeah. Marquis Bart, my men are risking their lives in Trost right now. Commander, already your horse. And he's one of the commanders. Yes! And it's likely, they admit, many have already lost their lives. And many more are dying this very moment as we indulge in idle chit-chat. And then the Bart says, they are expendable, let them die. Like, you've never even won a game of chess. Your presence will accomplish nothing. And, God, you can tell the soldiers are like, don't worry yourself, Marquis. In a real battle against the Titans, it is unnecessary for the commander to throw the match. Meaning that the commander has been just playing with you this whole time. He's thrown the match for your amusement to make you feel better about yourself. But this guy is the real deal. Like, he's not going to really throw a match. And then the guy's like, Pixis is like, nah, don't say that. Don't say anymore. He's like, please enjoy a peaceful day as you would any other. Like, just keep living your life, you fat old sow, while I go defend the walls and you're at peace. It's like, oh, I love it. I freaking love him. And then we have the maze of roses and this peaceful little thing with the butterfly. And Pixis is like, gotta go get shit done. I love him already. I've seen him for 2 minutes, and he's already one of my favorite characters, which probably means he's gonna die, but you know what? Nah. I love this man. I will go down with his horse. Absolutely. For reals. So, okay, information we can share so far. We have the cannons. Fixed cannons are anti-Titan weapons in existence before the invention of the 3D maneuver gear. They are placed on the walls and modified for defense purposes to address the dearth in mobile troops. So the cannons have been here for a long time. And they've been used. You'd think that they'd upgrade, but, fixed cannons. Grape shot is a low lethality used to slow Titans, and the HE projectile is powerful but extremely inaccurate. Targeted strikes are rarely successful. So basically, we're either going to use something that's low lethality, but we can use it to slow Titans and it's more accurate, or we can try to use the more powerful projectile and it's not as accurate. I'm like, I'd be working on this cannon technology if over the last 100 years, if that had been me. But again, we've seen how the technology and the stuff against these Titans is kind of, it's interesting. It's interesting. So yeah, then we get back to this battle here. And again, like I commented on the reaction, the guys that have been here a long time commanding these troops, their eyes are like crazy sunk in, like they've seen some shit. And they're like, yep, here we go. Getting ready to do this. And the other soldiers look freaked out as well. So it says trainees led by the supplies team will comprise the middle guard. So they're not sending the new people straight into battle. They're like, you're going to be the middle guard. And the garrison's elite forces will form the rear guard. So they're, again, keeping the more experienced people back to help with the civilians in the evacuation and keeping the civilians safe, which makes sense. Messengers report that the advanced team has been neutralized, meaning the ones they sent in early have already been defeated, and the Titans have entered the city, which is ominous indeed. In other words, the armored Titan, and these people behind him look so, like their faces are shadowed, they look so freaked out and like battle-ridden, and oh my god. And of course, looming in the background is the fact that this freaking armored Titan could appear at any time to mess shit up. And I'm like, oh, that's not terrifying and foreshadowing. Awesome. Cool. We don't need that. And so everybody's freaked out. And the guy that says no way is the guy that's throwing up later. So that's interesting. Thomas. God. As we speak, the Vanguard is engaging them. We have but one objective in this fight, and that's to defend Wall Rose with our lives until the evacuation is complete. Okay. But as you surely all are aware, desertion in the face of the enemy is punishable by death. So you're going to die either way. You're either going to desert, we're going to kill you, or you're going to give your life to the Titans. So you might as well do it with dignity, right? And then everybody, it's like chaos, getting everybody together. And okay, we need to talk about Jean. It's Jean. Okay, I called him Jean last episode because I wasn't totally sure because it's spelled like Jean, but it's Jean. Jean, oh my gosh, like the one guy throwing up, but Jean, his character gets more interesting the more he's on screen. I get so much more fascinated with Jean because he's like, why today? He's like, as of tomorrow, I would have been in the interior. And so, and then this guy's just over here throwing up as, what's her face is trying to comfort him. And Jean is just like distraught, like, nope, don't like it. And of course he bumps into Eren. And he gets mad at Eren. He's like, you're in the way. And Eren's like, hey, what's... And I like that Eren is at least trying to be like, what's wrong? Like, what's up? And he's like, what do you mean what's wrong? He's like, you have a death wish. Like, I'm concerned for my life. I didn't want to be in this battle to begin with. And I thought for a second that Mikasa was going to interfere and break them up again. And she, like, moves over like she's going to. But then Eren has this cool moment of leadership, which I really like. He's like, I was going to go into the interior tomorrow. And he's like, calm down. He's like, I'm supposed to stay calm and die. And then I love this monologue from Eren. He's like, we've endured 3 years of hell. We have lost people. We've had people desert. Some of us have died, like internally, had our mental like walls broken down. And he's like, some of us ran, some of us were kicked out, but we made it. Like, we did this, Jean. He's like, you get it? We can make it through today. He's like, and then everybody else starts listening to him. He's like, you'll survive and go to the interior tomorrow, okay? So quit freaking out. And Jean is impacted by that. Like, Eren has a genuine leaderly moment. And it's really, really good. And then, of course, Jean's like, damn it, I don't want to admit that you're right. And so he just moves on. And, like, gets the throwing up guy out to go. So I like that Jean is a really conceited character. Like, he's very conceited and only thinks for himself. But he's interesting. So and he won't admit that Eren's right. So I like that Jean as a foil is really good for Eren because he gives him motivation, like in this moment, to be leaderly. And then we have Mikasa. And Mikasa, being one of the more talented ones, is sent to the rear guard to help with evacuations. And she's definitely worried. And I agree with her when she says plans will fall apart in the chaos of battle. And she wants to protect him. And she's like, Eren, you're not that talented. This is not going, you're reckless. You need me to help protect you. And this guy's like, you don't get a say in what you do. You're following us. I'm not asking for your opinion. And the evacuation's falling behind. We need people to help. And so we're needing you. And she's like, And I get where both of them are coming from. Eren's like, neither one, Eren and Mikasa, neither one wants the other to get hurt. And this whole time we've been building up in this series the concept that Eren doesn't want to depend on Mikasa. Eren wants to be able to do things on his own. Meanwhile, Mikasa doesn't want to lose Eren. She doesn't think he can do it on his own, and she wants to help protect him. Which, by the end of this episode, doesn't look like it's too far wrong. But the problem is, neither one of them can see what the other wants. Neither one of them, they each have their own goals concerning each other, and neither of them can get what the other person wants. So they end up kind of with mixed signals against each other. Like, Eren's like, go on and do your thing, don't worry about me. And she's like, fine, I wasn't thinking clearly, just don't die, okay? She's like, I have one request, don't die. And he's like, well, of course I'm not going to. And she's like, you don't get it, I care about you. Like, they send such mixed signals to each other despite them being together so long, that it's like they just need to sit down and talk and be like, look, I care about you, and talk things out. But of course, because we're in the middle of this battle, there's no time for that. And Eren's like, I can't die here, duh. And it's like, Eren, that's not what she meant. It's like, dude. And this idea, I have no clue what the world outside is really like, and I want to see that. And we're going to talk about that, because that's an interesting point. So then we go into this whole... God, this discussion's long. I can't help it, though. There's so much to talk about. We go into this discussion about the Titans and about their history and reports made by the Survey Corps. And so here's the thing. The only thing we know about the Titans is what the Survey Corps has reported. And we've established that the Survey Corps not done real great at their job. They've all been faring poorly against the Titans because the good ones get shipped away. So it's almost like... Again, I'm getting my tinfoil hat on for my tinfoil hat theory. It's almost like they don't want information about the Titans getting leaked out. We don't want people finding out too much about the Titans. We want to keep it as shrouded in mystery as possible. It says there's no evidence that their intelligence supports communication. We haven't been able to communicate with them. So it's not like I think of Dawn of the Dead. I think of Day of the Dead, the Romero film where they try to trap the zombie. They trap the zombie in the military camp and they try to communicate with it. And there's some semblance of intelligence there, but it's not enough to effectively break that barrier. Like, the zombie still tries to eat the people, regardless of whether it can communicate with you or not. It's like an instinctual thing. They're still going to try to kill people even when you can communicate with it. So it reminded me a lot of Day of the Dead, this episode, when talking about the Titans' intelligence. And so here's the thing, too. The structure, it always shows, like, steam coming off of them. It says they have really high body temperatures. Like, there's just steam billowing off of them at all times, which is so weird. And differs fundamentally from other creatures. They lack sexual organs, and their means of reproduction remain unknown. So they're basically like Barbie and Ken dolls, right? They're basically like Barbie and Ken dolls. They cannot reproduce. Most appear male, and they have extremely high body temperatures. And inexplicably, they show no interest in creatures besides humans. So here's the thing. Yeah, their sole purpose seems to be consuming people, which is weird because they've survived this long in an environment without eating anything else. So they don't need to eat people. It's like a desire, an instinctual desire. And Eren looking freaked out by that is just very telling, while everybody else seems rather calm. And that's why they posed a threat, because they have an incredible vitality. So they're not immortal. Here's the thing that's really weird. Here's the thing. We showed that one that was like dragging itself across the ground, and then we show others having their heads blown off. They can regenerate their heads in 1 to 2 minutes and regenerate parts of their body, unless they're hit in the back of the neck where this like spinal cord, this part attaches like to the brain. if you hit that area, then you can stop the regeneration, and it can effectively kill them, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. I guess because it's attached to the brain, and signals and stuff can't go down to the brain to regenerate. But if the head's blown off, why does it matter? Interesting. So you have to kill them before that. And I like that little shot of Eren smiling. Like, okay, there's a chance to beat them. And he looks over to Armin. Eren looks over to Armin, and we don't see Armin's reaction in the past. We just see it in the present. And I'm assuming it's the same look, but it may be different. But that was a very cool transition. So, yeah, they can't reproduce. Where do they come from? They can't reproduce. What's going on? Why? And so, yeah, we get this shot of Eren and Armin talking and being like, and Eren's being super optimistic. Eren's like, and he's trying to reassure Armin and be like, look, Armin, this is our chance. We're going to do good today, and then we're going to move up through the ranks once we join the Survey Corps. And then, of course, Mina and the others come in being like, lots of people have joined the Survey Corps. This is just like training. No, it's not like training. It's about to get real. Shit's about to get real. So we don't see Marco in this group. Marco is not with these guys. So Marco's the other guy from Trost. So we don't see him at all. Team 34 Advance support the Vanguard. And this is where shit gets real. Because you're like, oh yeah, we're going out to this battle. Sweet, everybody's, in episode 3, at the end of episode 3, they're all zooming around the forest, and it's all positive, and everybody's like, yeah, isn't this fun? And then we jump into battle, and nope, not fun at all. Because, oh my god, like, the tracking shots in this animation are gorgeous. The tracking shots are beautiful. I love it. It's really pretty. And we have all these shots with these buildings. But here's the thing. The buildings are tall, and some of the Titans are as tall as the buildings, and others are not. They're all different sizes. So the fact that these guys can just appear, these Titans just kind of pop out of nowhere because they're all different sizes. You can't predict if you're going to turn a corner and see one. You can see some of them are taller than buildings, but others are not. And there's a whole bunch of them. And the Vanguard's been routed. What are they doing after all their boasting? So the Vanguard said that they were all, really strong, but what are they? My question is, we don't see where Levi or any of the others are in the middle of this. So, and then, Eren, why'd you say you never thought it would be this easy? No, don't say that. Don't say that. An aberrant. An aberrant. I don't know. Let me look up, what does aberrant mean? Because I'm going to take a pause here. Aberrant. What does that mean? Departing from an accepted standard. So aberrant means that it's something unusual. And this freaking blonde Titan jumping like a freaking spider monkey, hell no. Hell to the no. Like, this whole time I've been like, man, these Titans are slow but consistent. They're just slowly moving their way through things. No, these things can jump. That changes everything. These things can jump. That makes things 1,000 times worse. And he says, stop. And he crashes into the gate. And you don't realize why he crashed into the column of the tower. But then you see what it was. He was crashing into the tower and, hugs it. Because Thomas was there. And he was aiming to get Thomas in his mouth. That's freaking disgusting. I did not think that Thomas would die this soon. I've had in the back of my head going into this episode, I was like, okay, Thomas and Marco are from Trost. This battle is going to have a significant importance to them because they're, this battle is going to be important because it's their hometown. We're probably going to get flashbacks to their characters. We're probably going to do, find out the importance of the thing. And then I'm like, Thomas and Marco are probably going to die. I didn't expect Thomas to die this soon, and without a flashback, nothing. He just gets eaten. Oh my god, he just gets eaten, and that's it. And that's the end of Thomas. 2 minutes into this battle. And then Eren, it's like, okay, Eren's problem is that don't go alone. Eren's problem is that he jumps into things recklessly, and Mikasa knows that, and that's what she was afraid of. She's like, Eren's weakness is that he doesn't, like, Armin's a thinker, but Armin doesn't have time to think in this because it's this battle, and he's like, oh, I'll avenge Thomas. It's like, Eren, your problem is you think you can do this all by yourself. You cannot. Like, especially against these Titans like it is, they need to regroup, have a battle plan, have a strategy, and he just blindly jumps into this. And the tracking shots are amazing. Like, the shots of them flying through the city are gorgeous, but I'm like, dude, no. And then I just got to the part where the thing jumps up. Like, he's almost to the one Titan. And then this one, he's not paying attention. He's just so laser focused. Like, Eren's biggest weakness is he's got tunnel vision. He's so narrow focused, and he sees that one Titan, and he's like, oh, I'll avenge you. That he doesn't see the other one. And it jumps up and bites his freaking leg off. And he crashes into the building. And that one Titan, that Thomas is getting away. And, okay, which one got nailed by the one Titan? Is that... Was it? Oh, God. So then the one guy that was with Mina. Yeah, he did. Oh, he did. Oh, that thing swiped him out of the ground. And then this creepy female Titan looking thing with the giant eyes. That looks grumpy. Like, it looks like a grumpy Titan. It's got a grumpy face. It's weird. And then this other one gets the other guy and eats him. And then Armin's like, oh my God. And he sees Eren. Like, and Eren's legs bit off. And then Armin. And so we flash back. Okay, so the one guy's got Mina. So I'm like, is Mina gonna get eaten too? Like, we just met. Okay. The old man Titan. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about him. And then the old man Titan's about to eat Armin. Okay. Here's the thing. And it, like, goes to swallow him. Here's the thing. We get the flashback of the book. And this starts a whole other thing of exposition. So, the fact that Armin has this book that his grandfather kept, and his parents, I'm guessing that Armin's family, are they like pseudo-revolutionaries maybe? And again, don't spoil me. I know it's going to probably come up later. Or not if Armin dies. I don't think he will though. But we have this book about the outside world. And he's like, my grandpa gave this to me. And Eren's like, those books are forbidden. The military police will arrest you if they see that you have that. Why? I'm like, okay, dystopian society. Again, tinfoil hat. I'm like, why does the government care if you know about the outside or not? Why do they care? What? Yeah, we've established that the Titans are a problem. And the Titans are a problem and that they eat you. So that should be a deterrent enough to keep people from wanting to go to the outside world. But why hide what's outside from people? Why? Is this like The Village? Is this like M. Night Shyamalan in The Village where we've kept this one society all to itself and we don't want to talk about the outside world because maybe the outside world isn't that bad and we just don't want to tell people about it. But then there's Titans everywhere, so show! I just like, it's so, anytime that knowledge is forbidden in a story, I'm like, okay, why is it forbidden? Why? And then they say that there's a huge body of water called the sea, and that there's lots of salt water. And Eren's like, but salt's like a really high-priced, valuable. Like, we don't have a lot of salt. So the merchants would take it all if there was salt water. And he's like, no, it's too big to take. So it's establishing that there's resources out there that are priceless inside the wall. Like the idea that salt is a valued commodity. And Eren's like, no way. There couldn't be enough salt out there to not satisfy the merchants. No way. And Eren's like, yeah. Or Armin's like, there's a whole sea of it. The fact that there's resources outside that seems like too good to be true when it's the ocean. I'm like, okay, why are we keeping people from going outside? What's the deal? And then he says that there's flaming water and frozen earth. So flaming water, I wonder if that's like lava and then frozen earth, so like ice, like mountains. I'm sure the outside world is many times bigger than the world inside the walls. Probably. Yeah. And so then Armin says that my parents are going, this is still a secret, okay? My mom and dad say they're going beyond the walls soon. So at this time, Armin and Eren don't look much older than they were at the start in episode 1. So I'm guessing that Armin's parents just recently passed, right? They just recently died and his grandpa's just recently taken care of him and gave him the book. So it makes me think that like maybe Armin's family are kind of like pseudo-revolutionaries, like they're the outside believists that want to go beyond the wall, and that's got Armin peaked. And of course Eren, that's how him and Armin have a friendship. Wouldn't it be great if one day we could go outside and explore the wall too? And then Eren gets that determined look in his eyes, like, I ain't gonna let you die, bestie. Like, no way. And then saves him. I don't know how Eren's getting out of this, because he saves Armin. He saves Armin, but we don't know if Mina's still alive. I'm assuming those others are dead. And then, oh my god, he's just barely holding up that Titan's mouth with his hands. He's like, I can't die here. And he's using the sword to prop the mouth open. Armin, you told me about the outside world. So I'm going out there. And then Eren, get out of there. And then there goes his hand. Oh my god. Here's what I was going to say about the old man Titan. Does the old man Titan not look like Armin's grandfather? Anybody else? Anybody else catching that? I'm like, the old man Titan kind of looks like his grandpa in a weird way. And we know the grandpa died, or we assume the grandpa died, because he went out to work in the fields and never came back. Show. What? Why? And of course Mikasa looks back when she hears Armin screaming, but we don't get anything else. And it's like, Mikasa, are you gonna go save Armin? Are you gonna go save Armin? Are you gonna go save Eren? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then we get the preview, and I want to see the preview real quick. So in the preview, we have, it looks like Connie. We see what Connie and their group's doing, and Hannah is crying. I can't imagine why. And then we get flashbacks of Mikasa. And flashbacks of Thomas, maybe? Or maybe it's Mikasa's dad? I don't know. And we get to see Mikasa's past. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. I wonder if Mikasa's not going to go after Armin and them, and if instead that's when Levi and the others show up, because we haven't seen Levi in action yet at all. We've only been given like hints of Levi. So I wonder if Levi and Pixis are going to show up next episode for this part 2, I'm assuming, of Trost battle. That Pixis and Levi are going to show up. I wonder. Oh, God. I don't know what's going to happen. But Thomas is already dead. Mina may be dead. Eren. I refuse to believe that Eren's dead, but the dude lost a leg and a hand. How are we getting out of that? How are we getting out of that? You guys, I know it's so hard for y'all not to spoil me, and I'm so thankful that you're not. I really am thankful beyond a doubt, but I may end up recording some episodes ahead, y'all, because one, I don't want to be spoiled in the comments. And so I have a feeling if a spoiler comes out, I want to be prepared for it. But two, it's going to be hard waiting a week in between these episodes. It really is. It really is. When I first started watching Game of Thrones, I watched that first episode, and then I sat down. It was like on a Saturday morning. I watched that first episode because it was like raining. I didn't have anything to do at the time. I was like, I got today. I'll just watch this episode of Game of Thrones. I rented it. And then I watched the whole rest of the first season and went to the video rental store and like got the next season and took it home and was like, time for season 2. So this is one of those shows like Game of Thrones that like my body and mind and soul want to just completely delve into it like instantly, but I'm like, no, you can't do that, Romania. You can't do that. You need to just pause, wait, let it soak in. But it's going to be hard to do that. So, yeah. Holy cow, y'all. So, yeah, that was episode 5. I think this discussion's been the longest one I've done so far. That's probably going to keep up as we go. But, y'all, I'm so intrigued to know your thoughts down below. Please, no spoilers. I know it's hard. I thank you so much for not spoiling me. But, y'all, episode 6, it's going to be a doozy. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Don't be like Eren. Please stay safe. Take care. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.